to Feeding Conelius. Today, this is our very first episode, and we're going to be making the meatiest meatloaf Conelius has ever had. It is his favorite meatloaf.
I'm trying to eat here, for Christ's sake.
All right, well, Conelius wants to be left alone to his... Let's try that again. So on the very first episode of Feeding Conelius, we're going to do one of Conelius's favorite meals here. He describes it as the meatiest meatloaf he's ever had. And there's kind of a strange ingredient here. Grape nuts, believe it or not. So let's take a look at the ingredients here. First we got our ground beef, we got an egg, of course the grape nuts, we've got some ketchup, salt, pepper, onion. Alright? We got this recipe from an old 1970s cookbook that I found at a thrift store, Cooking with Love and Cereal. This is an interesting little cookbook, but this ended up being a favorite of our recipes, so I use this thing all the time for Conelius. First things first, it calls for half a cup of the Grape Nut cereal. Oh, and I forgot to mention there's water in this as well. 1/4 cup, or 1/2 cup rather, of water. So we are going to mix the half a cup of Grape Nut cereal with the half a cup water. Oops. We're just going to let that sit for a minute while we do our other stuff. We got an egg to beat, and we got an onion to chop. We'll beat the egg ever so slightly here. There's one slightly beaten egg, so slightly. Okay. And then we are going to do our chopping of the onion. Chop, chop, buttercup. I swear I feel so empathetic to the pain of the onion every time I chop it up. Okay, so 1/4 cup of this onion, finely chopped, alright. So we're going to put this over here, and then you're going to take your 1 pound of ground beef. Did I say there's Worcestershire sauce in this? There is Worcestershire sauce in this. I don't remember saying Worcestershire, so I missed one of the ingredients as well. So, yay. I'll recap with everything at the very end. So, one important note is wash your hands thoroughly and take off your wedding rings and anything like that, because you're going to be all up in this meat. Alright. So you're going to take your ground beef, and then remember mixing the grape nuts with the water. Dump that in there. Your onion. Your slightly beaten egg. Okay, now I'm going to be right back. I'm going to wash my hands real quick and get this off my hands, and then I'll put the rest of the ingredients in there. Alright, I'm back. So here's the Worcestershire, 2 teaspoons of it. Uno, dos. Alright. And then you're going to need 3/4 teaspoon of salt. They don't make 3/4 teaspoons, at least not that I know, so I gotta put 3 of these things in. Ein zwei drei. See, I can count in Spanish and German, but not necessarily in English. Alright. Then we need the pepper. 1/8 teaspoon of that. Put that in there like so. Alright. Now comes the fun part, getting all up in the meat. Mix that stuff together. Next time I'll be better prepared, but this time I'm going to call my lovely assistant Jason real quick, have him spray the cooking spray into that pan for me. That there is my favorite cooking spray, Baker's Joy. I don't have a lot of it left, but it looks like we got just enough of it left to make this, put in this meatloaf pan here. Give it a generous little spray with some cooking spray, that way it doesn't stick to your pan. Alright, now, plop it down in your meatloaf pan, like so. Alright, now, gotta wash my hands again, and I'll be right back, and we're gonna top it with the catsup. They call it catsup in this book, but we know that means ketchup. It's just old-fashioned. Alright, I'm back after washing all that meat off my hands again. Like I said, you're going to be all up in this meat. Got some red gold ketchup here, brand new pack. Red gold ketchup is a good one to get. It's made in Indiana. I'm all about supporting Indiana businesses. Alright. Here, squirt that on here. Like so. Give it a generous coating of your ketchup. If you want, you can do fancy patterns. I'm not that fancy. Alright, and then you're going to bake it at 350 degrees for about an hour. And it says it serves 6 people. That's very generous. I would say it serves 3 well. So, based on past experience. But we're going to go ahead and pop this bad boy in the oven for an hour. And we'll be back when Conelius is home from school. While we're waiting on the meatloaf to cook in the oven, I went ahead and making some sides, pretty self-explanatory, just to round the meal off. Some macaroni and cheese. And some green beans. Balanced meals, you know, are important. Well, Conelius has just gotten home from school and he's ready for supper. So, it's very hot. Alright, so to recap, you'll need 1/2 cup of Grape Nuts cereal, 1/2 cup of water, 1 pound of ground beef, 1 egg that's slightly beaten, 2 teaspoons Worcestershire sauce, 1/4 cup of finely chopped onion, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 cup of catsup. Alright, so you're going to mix your Grape Nuts cereal, your 1/2 cup each of water and grape nuts, and let them sit while you're cutting up your onion and while you're beating your egg. Then you're going to mix all the ingredients together except for your catsup, and you're going to press that into your loaf pan that you've sprayed with your cooking spray. Press that down, then cover it with your catsup, and you're going to bake that at 350 degrees for an hour, maybe a little bit longer depending on your oven. So we just got done cleaning up from supper with our meatiest meatloaf ever made with Grape Nuts cereal. Now you'll notice you're going to have a lot of Grape Nuts left over, so next time we'll be making some muffins for Cornelius for breakfast using Grape Nuts. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and you won't miss out.